In customer success management, plans often need to be developed, implemented, and then managed through to success. These might include the CSM's plans for engaging with and maximising the value from a specific customer, plans for onboarding the customer with new products and services, the customer's plans for adoption and utilisation of the products and services they've already purchased, and plans both of the customer and the CSMs themselves to measure and report on value generation. CSMs, of course, need to be able to develop, implement and manage their own plans. But on top of that, one of the greatest ways in which they can help their customers is in supporting those customers in the development, implementation and management of their plans. This is because, as we discussed earlier, the CSM is a subject matter expert in their own products and services, and in particular in how to onboard, adopt and generate measurable value from those products and services. An additional area of expertise that is closely aligned to this is the CSM's knowledge and experience gathered over time from previous similar implementations of what these onboarding, adoption and value realization plans should contain and how best they should be implemented and managed to maximise their chances of success. Providing assistance and support and advice to the customer based on their experiences of helping other customers is exactly what customer success management is all about. The CSM does not necessarily need to have formal project management qualifications, though many CSMs do, but they do need to know the basics of project management, including the development of a multi-phase plan, preparing for implementation, managing people, managing tasks, measuring and reporting on activities, handling problems and dealing with risk and with change. The world is a complex place, and however skilled the CSM might be as a subject matter expert, as an educator, as a communicator, as an influencer, and in developing, implementing and managing projects, things are inevitably going to not go according to plan from time to time. This is not due necessarily to anything having been done wrong or not being done that ought to have been done, but simply due to the amount of complexity and the level of both ambiguity and constant change that is inherent in the sorts of situations that CSMs might find themselves in. Every organisation has its own problems, and that includes both the customer's business and the CSM's own company. Even highly experienced and knowledgeable CSMs will, from time to time, therefore, come across either completely new situations, or at the very least, variations of previous situations that the CSM has not experienced before, and that there is no pre-existing response to. These problems or challenges can be obstacles to success, and if so, they will need dealing with in order to move forwards towards outcome realisation. In the military, it's often said that good sergeants know how to improvise to get the problem solved, and thus to get the job done. The same thing can be said for customer success managers. A good CSM will be flexible and adaptable in their attitude, will be able to think laterally in order to come up with creative solutions to non-straightforward situations, and will be able to do all of this in real time as the need arises, and whilst under pressure of deadlines and resource restrictions. One of the things that customer success managers say to me is that they often find themselves in a situation where they have many different stakeholders to please, but those stakeholders have conflicting views, opinions and desires about what should happen and how it should be done. Having many masters with conflicting views and opinions can be very difficult for the CSM, and perhaps within the concept of pragmatism that we're dealing with here, we could also mention the concepts of negotiation and conflict resolution as complementary skills for the CSM also to have. But turning back to the central theme of this tenet, which is that of the CSM as a pragmatist, the concept here is that whilst different stakeholders may come up with all sorts of ideas as to what to do, how to do those things, and what results they would like to see attained, the CSM needs to remain realistic in their outlook. I am not saying that targets should not be difficult to achieve, or should not push the team's abilities to the max in order to achieve them. What of course I am saying is that the CSM needs to know what that max is, and needs to be careful not to put themselves in a position where they have either actually or effectively committed themselves and others to attaining the impossible. Saying no, particularly to customers, is not easy, but sometimes it needs to be done. Of course, very often the no does not have to be a complete no, rather it can be a no, we cannot do that, but what we can do is. This approach only partly lets down the other party and may still get that stakeholder what they really need, whilst at the same time not losing the good faith that long periods of prior relationship building have established. In summary, as a pragmatist, the CSM must know not only when to say no, but how to say it.